So today, June 22nd, 2026, my first ever article got posted. Actually, this is an article that I did not write. It's an article about me that was posted on Remezcla, and it was about me being a student and an immigrant student navigating college as a first generation student and my path towards law school. If you want to go read it, you should go read it. It's pretty good. However, the thing that I want to highlight in this article is the following quote. The biggest lesson she'll learn outside of the classroom, she says, is simple. Closed mouths do not get fed. She repeats it like a mantra. You have to knock on every door, apply anyway, ask anyway, be ready for rejection, and do it anyway. And the title of this video, if you could notice, was about all the competitive programs that I applied for this summer and what that whole experience taught me. So I hope you enjoy this video and you can find it relatable, you can find it useful, and let's get into it. So during this whole process, I applied to, I believe, around 6 to 7. No, but for real, I'm not joking. Competitive programs, most of them were pre-law programs in very prestigious institutions. I have never stepped foot in one of these places, and this was the first time where I genuinely fully believed that I could do something. Most of the time, I was the type of person who would scare myself away from these opportunities. I genuinely thought I was not built for this. I was not one of these people, and I shouldn't even spend my time doing this kind of applications because I was not going to be selected. Like when God made people, He made two groups of people: the people who get selected to go to Harvard and the people who don't. And I was in the pile who didn't. So, especially when it came time to apply to college, I didn't even think that was possible for me. So I didn't do it. And this was the first time that I was like, wait, maybe that whole idea of the two piles, that's just BS. That's not how life works. You just need to apply. And that's a mindset that I have definitely nurtured and cultivated throughout my time in college. Not a mindset that I had before. And something that I probably didn't really think about when I lived in Mexico, because that's just not something that you really think about. When rejections started coming in, well, actually, it wasn't even rejections. When I didn't hear anything back for a while, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a rejection. And I remember talking with one of my professors because I genuinely in my head was like, number one, I feel ready. I generally feel like I am a competitive applicant. I generally feel like I have a shot at this kind of opportunities and programs. And I generally thought my materials were pretty good. I really thought I had put in, and I still do, I had put in so much time and effort and really put quality content out there, and something that I think I am still proud of. Maybe I have to reread my essays and be like, wait a second, maybe that wasn't that great. But the last time that I checked, they were pretty good materials. So in my head, I was like, this is it. This is exactly a moment that I have waited for. All the sacrifices that I've made, the reason that I wake up every single morning at 6 a.m. and I skip some of my hangouts and I'm always working and I'm always tired and I'm always doing homework is because of this. Because everything in my life will lead me to this. So when I didn't hear anything back, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. And all of these people who are piled when they're made in this box of you are going to be outstanding, they never get rejected. Because that's just, they were designed to be outstanding and never get rejected. So I remember I went to talk with one of my professors, and she even wrote an article about this. So I guess this is us inspiring each other. This professor, she's absolutely amazing. She's like it girl. She's insanely smart. She's so charismatic, driven. She's so nice, but at the same time, she has this very strong presence. She is just knowledgeable, driven. I don't know, I admire her so much. And in my head, I was like, of course, she was born to be in this bucket of successful people. I mean, she's just it, and I am not that. So when I told her, have you ever, and I genuinely thought she had never gotten rejected. I genuinely thought everything in her life had always been so perfect because she is that perfect person to me. So I was like, oh my gosh, did you ever get rejected? It was a genuine question that maybe now looking back, I'm like, of course you probably got rejected at some point. That's normal and so human. But in that moment, she looked at me and she's like, of course I got rejected. who do you think I am? And I'm like, you're perfect. You're one of those people who are born and put into this bucket of people who never fail. And she's like, Lucero, that's not how life works. And you will learn down the road that no matter who you look up to, they have gotten rejected at some point. They have failed, and I really want to emphasize the air quotations. They have failed at some point. And I could not believe it. I was like, what? This really changed my perspective. Like, me being rejected once doesn't mean that I'm like a failure forever, you know? And that's the moment that a lot of these lessons started appearing in my life that I want to share. The first one being, rejection is not a synonym of failure. It's actually super normal part of the process. And just if you don't get selected for one summer program, it doesn't mean that you weren't meant for this and you're like not one of this perfect people who are just cookie cutter definition of perfection and will never get rejected and everything in life will work out for them. No, it's fine. Everyone gets rejected at some point and it's okay. Just let it be. The other thing that I learned, and this was another advice coming from another professor when I told her this, it's that take this kind of process as a lottery. You are applying to all of these places, but never take it as like, of course, I've made it. This is it. Like, this is my chance. Just put it as, or frame it as you're putting yourself out there. You are applying, which is what's in your control. You're putting a quality application and working really hard. And also, parentheses, your application is also reflective of all the work that you have been doing leading up to that point. So you're putting in all of this work, not only applying, but also just existing and building a resume and being professional. And then you're putting it out there. And you should just let it be like a lottery. You're buying a lottery ticket and you know that the chances are slim. And if it comes back and you don't win the lottery, you're not like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure in life. Like, you just didn't win the lottery and that's fine. But if you do, yay, celebrate it. And it kind of maybe does work like that, especially in those like super competitive programs in like top 3 most prestigious schools in the world where they accept like 10 people. Maybe it is kind of like playing lottery and it doesn't really deter, and this is lesson number 2, it does not really determine your value or your potential. It just is what the lottery determined in that moment. Of course, put your best foot forward, put your best material out there, keep preparing yourself, because it's definitely a mixture of like being ready and also like the look of the moment, if you will. But don't ever take it as like, oh my gosh, I didn't do what I had to do. I was a failure. I'm gonna fail forever. It's just like, oh, you got it or you didn't, and that's it. Keep playing the game. Keep playing the lottery, and kind of what that quote mentioned. Apply anyway, ask anyway, and be ready for rejection, and do it anyway. You know? That was a really good quote. I can't believe I said that. My lesson number 3 is that rejection really is redirection. For a moment while I was applying to all of these programs, I was like, oh my gosh, like I genuinely have found exactly what I'm gonna do with my life. Like, everything that I did up to this point led me to me applying for these programs. I'm going to get into this program, and then this program is going to be the perfect pipeline into the rest of my legal career. And then when some of the rejections started pouring in, because they did eventually come, so this moment really allowed me to take a step back and be like, okay, I have been doing all of this, and I generally in my head thought that it was going to be like input A, I put in all of this work and effort, input or output B, I get into one of these prestigious programs, therefore it works as a pipeline and I can start my legal career. That's just how it's gonna work. And then I was like, okay, wait, number 1, I don't think life, and nothing ever in my life, and I should have already learned this, and nothing ever in my life has ever worked like that. Nothing has ever been like a straight path, especially when I think that I know the straight path and I know exactly what steps I'm gonna take. That's exactly when everyone or someone, aka God, pulls a rug out of my feet and I like fall, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. I thought I had everything figured out. I was not expecting this. So it redirects you to a different path that you had not really planned for, but ultimately that is a right path for you to follow. And in this case, I realized that there's a lot of other things that I'm interested on, and maybe this strict idea that I had of like, okay, I'm gonna lock in like crazy, I'm gonna study for the LSAT, I'm not gonna have a social life, I'm gonna have like the highest LSAT score ever, I'm gonna go straight from my undergrad to law school, I'm gonna grind out through law school, and I'm gonna get a really good high paying job, and I'm also gonna, by the way, go to law school like on a full ride scholarship. Like, I just had all of this like very strict steps that I wanted to follow. Not necessarily even like dreams or goals or aspirations. It was more like this is what's gonna happen. Like I thought I had kind of written a path for myself and it was set in stone and it was going to occur. And then I was like, wait a second, maybe I want to take some time off. Maybe this has taught me that there is so much more life out there and I kind of want to live it, because I've been sometimes depriving myself of certain experiences that deep down I do want to live, because I have this idea that if I don't put in all of this work and this effort, then I'm going to be a failure, because I'm not gonna follow this very strict roadmap that I have set out for myself. And then maybe I just want to live a little bit more, and that's okay. It's okay for me not to follow this super strict roadmap of like the blueprint of what I have to do. Maybe I want to go and work in Africa 1 year after I graduate, and I'm also just 20 years old, and maybe I should just let life surprise me. And that's a takeaway that I have shared a lot in the past, and then I don't know why I keep forgetting that I just want life to surprise me, and then I'm like, no wait, you know what? I don't like surprises. I want life to be exactly how I have planned it. To just take this as that redirection that will maybe even just allow you to encounter other goals and desires that you maybe didn't really want to pay attention to because they didn't fit your perfect plan, and maybe can just also be beautiful and great, and you wouldn't have ever known if you didn't get rejected from that opportunity. My fourth takeaway is that all wins count. After I had gotten rejected from a lot of these prestigious programs, I still got a lot of wins. I still got some accepted into some other summer programs. I actually got accepted into other 2 programs, which I just finished. The Washington and Lee Apex Legal Program, or Legal Summer Program, which I'm gonna make a whole video about that, and the New Leadership Virginia Program, which I have made a video about that. You should go watch it. They were amazing programs. And I also got another scholarship. So it really took me a while, and I literally had to sit myself down and be like, okay, Lucero, get your crap together. You cannot be this ungrateful. You need to get your head out of your butt. And pardon my language, I know that's very rough vocabulary and a little bit of a vulgar visual, but it really was kind of like that moment. I was like, what are you doing? Life is great. You're doing everything that you've always wanted to do. You're literally living the dream of millions of people. You're having all the opportunities that a lot of women would have like killed to have. Even women in your own family, you are one of the only people in your own family who have experienced the kind of opportunities that you have, and you're out here whining like an ungrateful brat. Be grateful. So that was kind of like the inner monologue that I had, and it made me realize all wins count. Like, no matter what it is, we need to live life more whimsically. And I have this friend, his name is Nan. He's such a character, and he told me, he's always happy, or maybe he does have his bad days, but I told him, Nan, how are you always happy? Like, you generally don't have ever like a bad day. And he's like, life is so whimsical. Why would I ever have a bad day? And that little phrase really hit me. I'm like, yeah, life is so whimsical. And there are so many wins in this whimsical life that we just overlook because we have our head in our butt. So be also appreciative of every other win, because maybe you got rejected from like your dream program, shalala. Yeah, there's still other wins. There's still so many other great things in life that you have to be grateful for, and just touch some grass and get some perspective. And my fifth takeaway was that there is way more life out there than just academics and professional achievement, and your worth is not just determined by that, and life is just not about that. And that's kind of how I want to end this video. I have been tailoring my content a lot for like overachieving students, people who are out here, we're working hard, we're trying to do more and compete for opportunities and get ready and work and just do it all, you know? But we sometimes forget that like there's also other things out there that transcend just working, and there is like a world of opportunities and of people and of experiences. Like, so much exists out there and we need to go and live and discover it. And we sometimes deprive ourselves of all of those joys because we're so like swallowed in this like bubble of prestige and education and who you know and what degrees you have and what like titles you hold and how many LinkedIn connections you have. I don't want to downplay the importance of that in building a professional career, and I do think it's a very real part of life, and something that we do definitely have to talk about, and something that I have talked about in my other social media. But that's not all. So sometimes we need to pop that little bubble. Oh my gosh, I forget how to speak English. Bubble. We need to pop that bubble and live life and realize that there is so much that we can do. We can maybe pick up a hobby and meet new friends and go out there and do some art and travel and listen to music and go to concerts and fall in love and read books and hang out with your mom and your dad and go shopping with your friends and watch a movie, brain rot for a little bit. Like, we're just humans. So I want to end kind of in that note. Rejection is not the end all be all. It's a natural part of life. You need to learn how to deal with it, and falling down, crying about it, being upset about it, because I did that. And then picking yourself up and being like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go party. And that's just what I'm gonna do, because I'm 20 years old and I did everything that I had to do, and maybe it just wasn't my time. And that is just it. And I have to let it be and let it go. So I hope this advice served you. I have received a lot of comments of people telling like, oh my gosh, how do you do everything? Like everything just always works out. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Life, it doesn't just work out for everyone always 100% of the time. That's not how it works. We're all here trying, but the important thing is that we're out here trying our best. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I do not want to come off as me like being aggressive and yelling at you, but I hope you like this video. Please do not forget to subscribe on the little red button. Follow me on all of my social media. I make more content like this, and I try to be like more real and kind of have these conversations and also give you advice so you can prepare to be always the best version of yourself. So follow me there. Leave any comments if you guys have any, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Gosh, I forget how to speak English. Bubble. We need to pop that bottle. Again, we need to pop that bubble.